Hello, my name is Doris, and I am Little Bird Products. If you've been here before, welcome back. And if you're new here, welcome. And please subscribe because it does help the channel. I am back for my, I'm going to call this a day in the life series because I've said I'm going to do a little video every day this week. For some inspiration. And what I did is at the beginning of this, I started out on Wednesday, and I'm going to call it Whimsy Wednesday. And I've had a lot of help, thank you, with the acronym for that. But I have been working along, and I love your comments telling me your favorite colors and what you wanted me to work on. And like happens every now and then with me, I would say yesterday I had, well, it wasn't quite an epic fail, but things didn't really turn out the way I wanted them to turn out. I was going to make a men's shirt upcycle. That was one of the choices that I had. And one of my other YouTubers that I follow a lot, the Big Sew Along, she had done for her Sunday post, she had done a men's shirt upcycle, and she had done it from a pattern. And I've used that pattern before, and I kind of like it because it's gathered into the arms. And I don't know what rabbit hole I climbed down, but let me show you what I did. This turquoise number here, I'll pick up my phone, see it. And, you know, I like the colors, the turquoise, and I wanted it to be a little bit high-low. And this is the way the back is. And I like that. But I just don't like it. I like everything to fit me. And I'm about a 2X. And I think what happened is I wanted to save fabric because I wanted to use this. And I like this, the way the sleeves kind of make a tulip look. But I think I need to take it apart, cut it down the middle here, and add more fabric so it's fuller in the skirt. I think I would like it then. So I'm not going to go in the death pile. I will try to get it finished this week, but I'm going to move along. And this, when I went to go through my men's shirts, I had this shirt, which I just loved, and it didn't quite fit me all the way around. And it's long. It has pockets in the side, has long sleeves, but it has that beautiful embroidery on it. And here's the front. I wanted it to button up the front. And I had these pieces of cotton, which I really think go nice with the embroidery. Let me turn around the back. I think you can see the embroidery better there. And see how beautiful it is? So what I wanted to do is, because it didn't quite fit me, I took the sides off, the sleeves off. I cut it all the way around. I'm going to do an inset. I've done this before to upsize a shirt, to add that inset. And I think I'm going to like the way that looks. And while it's not a men's shirt, and I'm not going to do it according to the Big Sew Long, the Matchy Matchy Sewing Club pattern that I had, because I am going to do a men's shirt, I think, right after this. I'm going to try not to go down the rabbit hole. And I'm going to look for some black and pink because somebody said they like black and pink, and I like those colors too. So I will do the men's shirt, but this one I'm going to continue on because I really liked this, and I like the way I believe it'll turn out, and it shouldn't be too difficult to do. Once I get the insets in, then I'll see how I like the sleeves, because I was thinking instead of leaving the long sleeves, they're cuffed, but they have that roll-up thing, which I hate. I'm going to take that out, that tab. I'm thinking about making these, cut these about half off, and then using leftover material from this and making a flare at the bottom. So I'm thinking that'll make it a little more coordinated with these colors, and that won't be too difficult to do. So I'm going to try to finish that and then work on the men's shirt pattern, because I do have quite a few shirts that I would take you in my design room and show you my stash of men's shirts. Maybe I'll stick a picture in on Sunday's post and take you on a little tour of my men's shirt stash. But I do want to get through these other projects this week. But I've kind of gone down the bucket hat rabbit hole. I love making these bucket hats, and I did find another new pattern because I'm always looking for something that's a little easier. And I wanted to make my next bucket hat, well, like the one that I showed you earlier in the week, one that has a narrower brim. Not necessarily a sun hat, because the first bucket hat that I made is really nice. It has a nice brim. It has more pieces, and it's the more normal bucket hat pattern you see. But this one that I'm looking for has a narrower brim, and I found a pattern that I think I like. And once I make that hat, then I will show you that in another video, and I will link that pattern depending on how it works. But it is just one pattern piece, which that's what I'm looking for, one pattern piece. And then each hat, because when you do a lining, it's like two hats. It makes 6 of that same piece, which is nice because I want to make my bucket hats what I call scrap busters, so that I can use all of these scraps that I have and then just use that pattern piece, and I could make a whole collage, of hats and just use that pattern piece. And I'm thinking that might be a really nice bucket hat pattern to try. So I'm going to try to squeeze that in too. When I find that if I have something that I enjoy making and I feel demotivated or I don't feel like sewing, if I pull that out, especially when it's a scrap buster and it's a pretty quick make, then it gets me motivated to do things. I don't know what you do to get your motivation back. I've kind of had a low motivation week, and that's why I decided to post every week, or every day, sorry, not every week. I am doing something a little different when I do these videos, and I'm not doing extensive editing on them. So my video from yesterday, which I'll link here at the end, you'll notice I have a little coughing fit. Sometimes in the morning, that's me with my Texas allergies. I'll have a little cough, and I didn't edit it out. That's me. That's what you'll be seeing is the real me. What do they call that? Unfiltered. Well, would filter it out if it was totally abysmal. And then again, maybe you think these are totally abysmal. So I'm wearing one of my men's shirt refashions today. It's one of my scrap buster things. It's one I made quite a while ago, and it's a lot of different parts, and I like it. It's comfortable. It doesn't have sleeves, but it kind of has these cappy sleeves, which I like because I like to be keeping the air circulated. Let me see if I can turn you around here. I want to show you a little bit of what I have here. And I'll see if I can do it this way. See how I have these shirts laid out? These are some of my inspiration pieces. And here on my ironing board, you can see I have some other pieces, which are my turquoise pieces. Turn you back around. My camera leaves a little bit to be desired today. And I apologize for those of you who prefer the horizontal view as opposed to the vertical view, but this is what I have, for today's video. And I am a little more motivated because the weather is nicer here. It has stopped raining, thank goodness, but it is 75 degrees and cloudy out here in Texas. But I do have some tomatoes ripening. I'm so excited. I can hardly wait to have my first tomato out of the garden. So I am working up to getting more motivated. I do have a few other things hanging on my mannequins here. And when I find a lovely piece like this, which I'm excited about finishing, and I have in my mind, I have that vision for how it's going to look. That helps make up for this one where I'm less excited about the way it turned out. But I think I woke up this morning and I was thinking about that. And sometimes that's when I get my best inspiration, is when I'm just waking up and I think, oh, I know what I can do about that. I'll just have more fabric at the bottom and I'll gather it a little more, and then I think I'll be happy with it. When I start out with a piece and I go to make it, I usually start with the inspiration. And the inspiration for that, for whatever reason, was that dark turquoise that I had at the top. It's a V-neck t-shirt that I'd used the bottom for another project. And I wanted to make use of that. And there again, I don't like to throw any fabric away. That's good. And I like the way it fit me at the top. It was a little snug, but it's really stretchy and it's lightweight and has a V-neck. And those are things, and it has sleeves, but shorter sleeves. So from my perspective, I make things that I like. And if I like it and it fits me, then, and it's a little flexible. It'll go from a large to a 2X because I model my things myself. And so if it doesn't fit me, or I should say, if it fits me, then it'll fit up to a 2X. So I like that, and I like to have it be comfortable and kind of what I call floaty. And so I think this needs to have more floatiness to it. So I do want to remake that, but then I'll have to get my friend Jack out with me. And I don't like it when I have to get Jack out, and that's Jack the Seam Ripper. So he'll help me along. The other thing I did, this is totally when I have to have some inspiration to do something, I made this scrappy flower, and I'm going to put that up on the top of my hat. I think that might be kind of fun, and it's parts from the hat I made. I'm going to put a vintage button in the center, put a clip on the back of it, and see if I can clip it to my bucket hat. I'm also thinking that for this, I have this long string of cotton left, and I'm going to put that together as a tie. And so what I'm planning on doing is putting that at the waist so that you can tie it in the front or tie it in the back to gather it a little bit. If you're a little slimmer, if you're less than a 2X, it would still be something that maybe you would want to wear because the embroidery is beautiful. And that was, I think, an expensive top to begin with. It feels almost like a linen, but it's a lighter weight cotton. So I like that material, and it doesn't really wrinkle. So I think that's going to be a good make, and that somebody would really like that. So I'm excited about that. So with that said, the projects that I have left is number one, which is a duster jacket. And I do have that tan one hanging up, staring at me on the wall here. I'm looking at that. I need to finish my men's shirt upcycle, but I'm going to do that today. So I'm going to count that as today. So if it's today, it's almost done. So that's duster jackets left to do, the graphic tee tunic dress, and this piece that I showed you laying on my cutting table here is really nice because it has some lace at the bottom. I like it because it's a round neck. It's a size large, but it's stretchy, so it's fairly roomy. I need to find some navy blue fabric. I'm thinking navy blue to go along the sides and to remake the sleeves. So I need to look at that and see how I want to do that. And then I have my mystery inspiration, and I'm thinking that mystery might not be a mystery. It might be that other bucket hat pattern. And then there's my long twirly dress. And the graphic tee tunic dress and the long twirly dress, kind of fitting that together. So I think number 7 is probably the dungaree dress. So let me go through these again without quite so much yattering. The pieces that I have left to make is the jacket, duster jacket, okay, the graphic tee tunic dress, my mystery, which is, let's just not call it a mystery anymore. Let's call that another bucket hat. That's the hat, one piece. And let's call the last one, number 7, the dungaree dress, because that dungaree dress, while it is a twirly piece, I'm going to make it twirly, it does have the denim bodice. So I'm down to 4 projects left after today, after I finish making and remaking what I have here. So I have the jacket, I have the graphic tee dress, I have the mystery, or not so mystery, the hat, one-piece hat, and I have the dungaree dress. So those are the choices. So if you would, in the comments, tell me what your choice would be for me to make, and it probably will be the conclusion of the week because today is Friday, tomorrow's Saturday. Then Sunday I'll show you everything that I did make and then talk about, okay, what I didn't get done and why. Was it motivation? Was it lack of time? A lot of times with me, it's motivation to start with, and then it's lack of time because by the time I get motivation to do it, it's almost 5 o'clock. And for those of you who've been with me a while, you know that after 5 o'clock, I don't do anything because if I do so after 5 o'clock, I'm usually spending time with Jack, my buddy, the Ripper, the next morning, just like with his t-shirt dress. So, do you vote for the duster jacket? Do you vote for the graphic tee tunic dress? Do you vote for the one-piece hat? Or do you vote for the dungaree dress? Because whatever I get the most votes on, that's what I will work on tomorrow. Because today I'm going to finish my men's shirt upcycle and these 2 pieces. So that's my commitment, is to get those finished today, to get them to done. Anyway, thank you for joining me here. Thank you for sharing this odyssey that I'm on. Is it an odyssey? Journey, to get my motivation back. And if there's some trick that you have to recoup your motivation when you feel like you just want to sit and watch YouTube or watch your favorite TV show. Right now, my favorite TV show is Tiny Homes. I don't know why I'm so fascinated by tiny homes. I am. I think somewhere in my future, I have a tiny home. But then I'm going to have a humongo workshop next door to it. I don't need much space to live. I just need a lot of space to hold all my stuff. And I've decided I'm not getting rid of my stuff. I'm just going to leave a notebook that has in it that says, when I'm gone, here's who to call to destash all my stuff. Here's where my machines go, my sewing machines. Here's where my embroidery machines go. Here's where my recouped thrifted clothes go. And who's gonna come and get them. And they'll come and clear it out for my daughter so she won't have to mess with it at all. She'll just have to call these 4 or 5 phone numbers and they'll come take care of it for you because she has absolutely no interest in all my junk. All she wants is my pictures that are on the wall. Let me move these so you can see them a little bit better. My artwork. That's all she wants is my artwork from California because I think that's worth a little money. But besides that, she does love my artwork. So, not that I made it, but I purchased it from the artist in Laguna Beach. So, she will keep that, I know. Isn't that depressing for me to be talking about when I'm dead and gone? That's not going to be for a while. I'm planning on being one of these ladies who lives to be over 100 and healthy. And maybe I'll set a new record. Maybe I'll still be sewing at 102. Yep, I think 102. So thank you for joining me here today and coming along this journey. And please, in the comments are wonderful. They help the YouTube algorithm. In the comments, let me know whether you vote for the jacket, the graphic tee, the hat, or the dungaree. Ooh, that almost rhymes. Thank you. Have a great week. Bye.